time I tried to talk about my dreams, they crushed them. I explained how their constant belittling pushed me to stop confiding in them entirely. I didn't brag or exaggerate. I simply said I wanted to build something of my own, and that I had. At first, they didn't believe me. My mother scoffed and called it another empty idea. But I continued speaking calmly, revealing that the project had started earning money months ago. I told them the truth. I had been saving quietly, building slowly, and I had just reached a milestone I never imagined achieving so soon. I didn't give details or numbers, I didn't have to. The confidence in my voice did the work for me. Their expressions shifted again. Confusion, doubt, then something closer to discomfort. My father asked why I hadn't told them earlier. I could have laughed at the irony. Instead, I simply told them that I had learned the hard way that sharing my progress with people who only saw me as a failure was exhausting. They didn't respond, and for once, the silence at the table didn't suffocate me, it empowered me. The rest of dinner passed quietly. They avoided eye contact. They didn't mock me again. For the first time, I wasn't a child absorbing their disappointment, I was an adult claiming my own identity, one they never bothered to understand. When I finished eating, I stood up to leave. My mother finally muttered a hesitant question, asking if I was really doing well. I said yes, not to impress them, not to seek validation, but because it was the truth. As I walked away from the table, something inside me felt lighter. Their opinions no longer shaped me. Their labels no longer defined me. I had spoken one line, but it was enough to shift the balance of power. For years they had underestimated me, but that night, they saw a version of me they never expected. Someone confident, someone capable, someone who no longer needed their approval to feel worthy. That one line didn't just change the dinner, it changed everything about how I saw myself. For most of my life, I stayed quiet whenever my parents mocked me. It wasn't because I agreed with what they said, but because speaking up always made things worse. They had a way of twisting my words until I looked ungrateful or dramatic, and after years of living like that, silence felt safer. But growing up in an environment where your own voice doesn't matter has a way of shaping you. It makes you careful, cautious, and always second-guessing yourself. Even when I became an adult, those habits followed me like shadows. I learned to hold my thoughts in. I learned to swallow my anger. And I learned to nod along even when my parents painted me as a disappointment in front of others. Still, there comes a moment in every person's life when you can't stay silent anymore. My moment arrived unexpectedly one evening when ordinary conversations turned into the usual pattern of mockery. We were sitting in the living room, and what began as a family discussion quickly turned into a familiar